Two major stories today. A man opens fire in an East Spokane pawn shop, tells police he has hostages. We were there when it finally ended with a suspect stuffed into the back of the police car.
Also a huge story nationally taking place right here in Spokane. Police search for the killers of this World War II veteran. Today they arrested one of the suspects. You see him here in this exclusive video we shot just an hour ago. They are still searching for the other teen accused in this horrific crime.
KREM 2 News at 5 starts now.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Randy Shaw.
And I'm Jane McCarthy. That deadly beating of a World War II veteran in Spokane is sparking anger and calls for justice from across the nation. Tonight we're offering unique coverage of this story.
Now here's the latest on this. One of these young suspects, that's him, 16-year-old Demetrius Glenn. He's in custody. This is exclusive video shot outside the juvenile facility just about an hour ago. Police escorting him to the main facility at the Spokane County Jail. He's sitting behind bars at this hour, accused of the outrageous crime of beating that veteran to death. Now take a look at your screen. This is the second suspect in the case, 16-year-old Keenan Adams Kennard. He's still on the loose out there, and your help is needed to get this guy as well.
Authorities say 88-year-old Delbert Belton had just arrived at the Eagles Lodge Wednesday night to play pool with a friend. Police believe the two teens attacked Belton, severely beating him. Court documents reveal Belton suffered numerous facial fractures, and those blows to his head ultimately led to his death.
Now we have KREM 2 News team coverage tonight on this story. KREM 2's Whitney Ward spoke with family members of the victim. Jenica Villamore will have more on a growing memorial for Delbert Belton outside the Eagles Ice Arena.
We start with KREM 2's Haley Gunther tonight, who has new information on the two suspects. Haley.
Hi, Randy and Jane. Well, Demetrius Glenn turned himself in last night. He was booked into the juvenile facility you can see behind me just before midnight after his lawyer talked with major crimes detectives. Those detectives are confident that Glenn and his friend, 16-year-old Keenan Adams Kennard, murdered an 88-year-old World War II veteran for no reason. It was a senseless end to a beautiful life. Court documents lay out the brutality of Delbert Belton's final moments. His body was found lying in his vehicle, wedged between the front bucket seats, his feet up toward the rear window, and his head in the front center console area. Detectives believe he was beaten inside his car, and they also believe this 16-year-old Demetrius Glenn is the one who did it. You're looking at video of Glenn being moved from juvenile detention to the main facility at the Spokane County Jail. Police say Demetrius Glenn fits witness descriptions. They also say he appeared on several security cameras in the area. Police believe his alleged accomplice is this teen, Keenan Adams Kennard. Both juveniles have criminal history. Detectives say this was possibly a robbery gone bad. The contents of Belton's wallet were found in a yard about 3 blocks from the murder scene. Spokane Police Chief Frank Straub says the victim and the suspects do not know each other. Is there any indication that this murder was racially motivated?
No, I want to be very emphatic about that. Race did not play in any way, shape, or form.
Investigators believe the teens have gang ties. They're investigating if another assault earlier in the night nearby is related. Detectives say Glenn did turn himself in shortly after he knew he was wanted, but he wasn't exactly cooperative. When lead detective Jeff Barrington tried to ask Glenn to stand up to view what he was wearing, Glenn made the unsolicited statement, "These are not the shorts," from the video. Now, Glenn will be booked into the main facility at the Spokane County Jail, and then he will be sent back to the juvenile detention facility. I am told that he will be charged as an adult, likely be in first court appearances Monday morning in Superior Court. Once again, if you have any information about Kennard's whereabouts, the other suspect in this case, you are urged to call 911 immediately. Reporting live, I'm Haley Gunther, KREM 2 News.
And we want to take a moment to show you that guy's picture again. This is 16-year-old Keenan Adams Kennard. He's still on the loose out there. Your help is needed to get this guy who is wanted for the beating death of that veteran. As police search for his whereabouts at this hour, the victim's family says both those teenagers deserve to face charges as adults, not juveniles.
Whitney Ward spoke with Delbert's relatives today. She joins us now live from the murder scene with their reaction to these latest developments. Whitney?
Well, Randy, Jane, prosecutors say that these two suspects will likely face adult charges. And when I spoke with the family today, they said these kids do deserve some grown-up charges.
If they wanted to rob him, Just ask him. He would have given it to him. I know he would have.
Dana Belton says she'll never be able to make sense of the senseless violence that claimed her grandfather, Delbert Belton.
Just knowing he's gone and the way it happened.
It's been an incredible blow for the entire family, but relatives tell me they are relieved at how aggressively police have pursued the two suspects, and they fully support adult charges for the 16-year-olds.
Kids today seem to think they can do whatever they want, however they want, and take whatever they want, and they're not going to suffer any consequences. It was a horrendous thing to do to an 88-year-old man.
So horrendous, the case has leapt into the international spotlight for everything from race issues to politics, attention the family never saw coming.
I don't want people to start going crazy and doing stupid things because of this. You have to look at them as kids, not black kids or Hispanic kids or white kids. They were just kids, and they did something horrific.
I'm glad it makes people aware, but they need to not look at the color. It's a senseless act, period.
They just hope the suspects will eventually face consequences that do make sense.
Find who did this and let him rest in peace.
Now, Spokane police are asking for your help tonight in finding that second suspect, Keenan Adams Kennard. They're also asking him directly to just come forward and turn himself in. If you do have any information on where to find him, you're asked to please call Spokane police immediately. Live in North Spokane tonight, Whitney Ward, KREM 2 News.
Thank you, Whitney. And again, this story is receiving a lot of attention nationally and even internationally. Here locally, people connected to KREM.com to share their thoughts about the death of Delbert Belton. And his story has spread far beyond Spokane thanks to the power of Twitter. As of about 8 o'clock last night, his story began trending nationally on Twitter. Actor James Woods tweeted this message, which has been retweeted several hundred times. It says, hashtag Delbert Belton. Please retweet. Don't let him die without anyone caring. The story took off from there on Twitter as the actor continued tweeting about the Spokane veteran throughout the night. And the website TrendsMap, a site used to track what people are talking about on social media, shows where people are talking about Delbert Belton across the U.S. People all across America are thanking the World War II veteran for his service. They're also demanding justice.
Well, a memorial for this World War II veteran keeps growing outside the Eagles Lodge in North Spokane.
KREM 2's Jenica Villamore is live outside the Eagles Lodge. She tells us who's been stopping by. Jenica?
I've been out here for a few hours and I've seen many people drive by slowly taking a look at the memorial that they have out here. And even staff members here are showing their support. Take a look at this, flying the flag at half staff.
It's just terrible.
Whether they knew Delbert Belton or not, it didn't matter.
I just feel that we all know him here in Spokane.
Whether it was the woman running his bingo class,
he made it fun for people to be around him,
or a neighbor to the Eagles Club, they all say they're here for him.
We have to show support.
Dozens of flowers fill the memorial outside the Eagles Lodge on Lidgerwood Street, along with notes to Shorty thanking him for his service. This woman never met Belton, but brought a pot of flowers anyway.
A serviceman, 88 years old. We all know that he gave so much for this country.
She's one of many showing their support. Bruce Peterson stopped by with his brother after hearing what happened.
It never needs to go this far.
But those who did know the 88-year-old remember him with a smile.
Very cheerful, very polite.
Meanwhile, flags and letters fill his memorial to show he's not forgotten.
That's one thing I could never take from him. Couldn't take his spirit away.
People who work here say that the phones have been ringing off the hook with calls offering their support, many of them saying that they were veterans too. Now, we will be back here tonight at 8:30 for a candlelight vigil planned for Belton. You can see that story tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock. Reporting live in Spokane, Jenica Villamore, KREM 2 News.
To learn more about the Delbert Belton story, you can download the story of KREM 2 mobile app for your tablets and smartphone. We've started our own section there dedicated to this. Just search KREM in your smartphone market.
Now to our other big story today. KREM 2 News was first to tell you about a dangerous potential hostage situation in East Spokane.
We stayed live on the air for you for about 2 hours until the good news came in that the suspect walked out and police arrested him. Officers responded to reports of shots fired a little after 10 o'clock this morning. Suspect reportedly armed and had access to numerous weapons in there and may have had at least one person hostage at the Double Eagle Pawn Shop at Sprague and Fisk in East Spokane.
Sources told us the suspect jumped over the counter after entering the shop. They say he grabbed a weapon and just started shooting. Amazingly, no one was hurt. Police later arrested 26-year-old Jonathan Johnson without further incident. We are the only station in town giving you comprehensive coverage on every platform today. Taylor Vito will join us in a minute with more on how the suspect contacted the KREM 2 newsroom during that standoff.
First, we start with KREM 2's Othello Richards, who has eyewitness accounts of what happened inside the pawn shop.
Imagine being in that pawn shop at the time the suspect allegedly started to fire off shots. We talked with two customers who were. A quarter after 10 this morning, Spokane police rushed to the Double Eagle Pawn Shop on East Sprague. The information authorities say dispatch received: a man inside, armed with a gun, firing shots, possible hostages.
It was crazy, I don't know. It just happened so fast, I just kind of ducked and hid. It's kind of crazy.
Justin Robertson was a customer inside at the time.
And I just heard everyone start yelling like, sir, don't do it. Put down the gun or something. And I look up and the dude's back there loading the shotgun.
Robertson says he hid and called 911.
Then he started yelling about his son and Obama.
Police say the suspect, 26-year-old Jonathan Johnson, did not go to the store armed. Witnesses say he grabbed weapons that sat on display after he entered.
We were at the counter waiting for my daughter's laptop, and we heard the cashier guys yell, there's a gun, and they started running, and then we heard shots, and everybody just started running.
Christina Kendall ran out with her daughter.
The cashiers when they ran, they went and grabbed their guns to try and hold them off, but we had already run out before they came out with their guns.
Robertson remained in the store in hiding. He says several employees armed with guns provided cover outside near the entrance for him to leave.
When I came around the aisle, the counter of the aisle, the guy with the shotgun looked me directly in my eyes, and I just put my hands up like, don't shoot, and I slowly walked out the door.
Police say at some point Johnson called 911 and stated he had hostages, but that turned out untrue. Authorities say negotiators eventually talked him into surrendering. A witness says Johnson walked outside with his arms raised.
We had an individual that was armed with a lot of firepower, quite frankly. This is the way we wanted to end it.
Now, witnesses guess anywhere from 20 to 30 people were inside that pawn shop at the time. Nobody got hurt. Reporting live, Othello Richards, KREM 2 News.
Well, while we were in our nonstop live coverage of the pawn shop standoff, a very unusual situation was unfolding behind the scenes right here at our studios, something we couldn't tell you about at the time, but we can now. That suspect used another person to call the KREM 2 newsroom and talk to our staff.
KREM 2's Taylor Vito is live in our newsroom tonight to explain what happened there. Taylor?
About an hour into our continuous coverage of the standoff, this phone rang, and suddenly we became a part of the story.
I think your brother Dennis is out there right now. Do you want Dennis?
Our assignment manager answered the phone. She learned the suspect used a third party to call into our newsroom. We contacted police right away. They asked us to keep him on the line and keep him calm, which was difficult because he kept making threats and demands. Hostage negotiators eventually told us to hang up after 30 minutes, so we did. But the suspect called back a few minutes later. Police this time gave us a phone number for the suspect to call. Negotiators and the suspect agreed. 15 minutes later, police made the arrest. We want to emphasize that we did not contact the suspect. He called us through a third party. Police say if you find yourself in a similar situation, call them so they can handle it just as they did today. In the newsroom, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Quite a day. You can head to KREM.com right now to see more video of the standoff today. We've got uncut footage from throughout the standoff situation. It's under featured video on our website at KREM.com.
Well, it certainly wasn't a quiet news day, but fortunately it was a pretty quiet weather day.
And we thought it was going to be the opposite. We thought we were going to have a really active weather day. we didn't get hit by storms. They were a complete bust here locally. They did kind of rage across areas of northeastern Washington and up around Priest Lake and Sandpoint. You take a look at the satellite and radar composite right now, you can see just a few remaining showers up there, but not much in the way of thunderstorm activity, although you've got one that has just kind of moved to the north of Sandpoint and again still south or southeast of the Priest Lake area. Again, still a chance of maybe a few more showers or thunderstorms maybe into early Sunday morning, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Temperatures will certainly be more comfortable. We'll look for a high Saturday of 82 degrees. I'll talk more about Sunday and your 7-day forecast all coming up in a few minutes.
We're still ahead tonight. A man may have been hit by a train in Spokane late last night, but he was never found.
Also, Spokane Public Schools now providing students with their own email accounts. Welcome back. Spokane police spent part of the night looking for someone who may have been hit by a train.
Police say the man may have been bumped by this train, but then just got up and walked away into the night. The train stopped, of course, blocked the intersection near Mission and Perry for some time while crews looked for the victim, but never found one.
Jeremy McVicker was sentenced today to up to 63 months in jail. He's the man who accidentally shot and killed a friend, but then he dismembered his friend's body with a hatchet. This happened back in January. Detectives say McVicker accidentally shot 19-year-old Dylan Heinen in the head with a 9mm pistol. McVicker says he got a hatchet and struck Heinen's body about 40 times. Well, Heinen's family says they've received a lot of support from their son's friends, but they're glad the court process is now done.
I think this kind of gives us our first step to healing, healing as a family.
Something good needs to come out of Dylan's death. And I think by the sentence that was put upon Jeremy will hopefully, when this is all said and done, make him a better person.
When McVicker is out of jail, he will not be allowed to contact the Heinen family.
Spokane Public School District says its new student email system is going to be safe and secure. All 4th through 12th graders are going to get their own email accounts this year. The 4th through 7th graders' accounts are going to be restricted. It will only allow emails between themselves and their teachers. But with parental permission, the 8th through 12th graders will be unrestricted in order for them to have contact with universities.
Our focus on this is educational, so we want our high school students that are getting ready and looking at colleges to be able to have that communication for college scholarships and other college admission information. We found that too many of our students did not have access to email. We wanted to ensure that they had that access so that they could really help further their college preparations.
Spokane Public Schools implemented safety features as well, such as blocking spam with certain words in it to make sure that students aren't vulnerable. In addition to educating students on email, the teachers will provide lessons about internet security and etiquette.
We'll take a break and be right back.
And now, the KREM 2 News Storm Tracker 2 forecast with Tom Sherry.
And I mentioned it just a little while ago as you take a look at beautiful Spokane, looking at the courthouse right there and also the health building. Keep in mind that, we thought we were going to get quite a few thunderstorms today. That did not happen. No measurable precipitation out at the airport. We did see the storms up to the north of us. And when you looked at the cloud cover today, it looked like it was trying to build, but no thunderstorms. And that is good news in the sense that at least we didn't have to worry about tremendous amounts of cloud to ground lightning, which obviously this time of year can spark wildfires. 81 degrees was our high today. It was a sultry night, though. The overnight low only dropping down to 64. We're tracking, you can see the storm moving to the north of us now up into British Columbia. Still this system right here, but again, look how most of the energy is moving up into the Gulf of Alaska. A lot of that monsoonal moisture now looks like it's moving to the east of us into eastern Idaho and into western Montana. Temperatures, though, over the next several days will be seasonal, meaning right around 80 or low 80s. We're at 80 in Spokane, 75 degrees in Newport. Here's a look at Saturday's weather all across the area. Now, there's a slight chance of showers. Don't rule it out, but and actually that Deer Park should say 80 degrees. 80 degrees for the high in Deer Park. We're not going to see any 90s. 82 in Spokane, 81 in Coeur d'Alene, 82 expected in St. Mary's. More 80s or upper 70s across northern Idaho and western Montana, as well as to eastern Washington. Colville will see a daytime high of 84 degrees. So Saturday we're at 82, Sunday 82. See, I've got a slight chance of of showers on Sunday as well as into Monday. Tuesday we're at 80 degrees, 80 on Tuesday. You get the drill right here. Lots and lots of pretty much the same temperatures under either partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Again, over the weekend, a slight chance we could bubble up a storm. Models are trying to get a handle on it. We think maybe the best chance of it happening might be Sunday morning or Saturday night.
We'd like that not to happen, though, because of the fire danger.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're tracking some breaking news out of Spokane County where authorities responding to a two-car crash, a terrible accident there. It happened on Cheney-Spokane Road and Spotted Road just north of Cheney. The driver of the black car apparently had some kind of a medical episode, blacked out. Authorities believe it swerved into another oncoming car. People in both vehicles had to be extricated from these vehicles. You can see how badly damaged they were. MedStar was called in, airlifted one person to the hospital. The roads in that area are currently blocked off, so if you're traveling there, you're going to want to find another way around there.
In other news, the jury convicted Major Nadal Hassan on all 13 counts of premeditated murder. That's in the 2009 massacre at Fort Hood.
Unanimous conviction allows prosecutors to seek the death penalty in his case. The Muslim U.S. Army officer was screaming in Arabic and opened fire, killing 13 people, wounding dozens more in the shooting rampage. From the beginning, Hassan admitted he did it, that he was a shooter. The trial now moving to the sentencing phase. Military jury has sentenced Sergeant Robert Bales to life in prison with no chance of parole, none. Bales massacred 16 Afghan villagers last year. He pleaded guilty in June to avoid the death penalty. Bales apologized repeatedly in court yesterday for killing the unarmed women and children in Afghanistan.
San Diego's embattled mayor, Bob Filner, is now out of office. He agreed to resign today as part of a sexual harassment settlement deal against him. His resignation is effective as of August 30th. 18 women have publicly accused the 70-year-old mayor of making unwanted sexual advances toward them. Filner's ex-fiancée broke her public silence yesterday about Filner's behavior.
I don't think it has anything to do with sex or love. I think it has to do with power and control. So, of course, it feels awful. It feels horrible.
Filner apologized to his accusers, yet he denied ever sexually harassing them. A special election to replace Filner will be held within 90 days.
It's back to school time and a lot of local children getting pretty excited.
We'll tell you the proper amount of sleep doctors say they need for their best success.
This is a memorial outside the Eagles Lodge tonight in North Spokane for the World War II veteran Delbert Belton. Two local teenagers accused of beating him to death. One of them's in custody. Tonight, this memorial will have people all around as friends and family hold a special vigil. We'll be there for you tonight, show you how people are remembering Belton tonight on KREM News at 10 and 11.
With the start of the school year close, doctors say parents should not wait until the last minute to get children back on their school year sleep schedule. A doctor at Gramercy Pediatrics says good sleep habits are strongly related to good schoolwork. He says children ages 3 to 5 need a total of 11 to 13 hours of sleep. 5 to 10-year-olds need about 10 to 11 hours, and teenagers need at least 8.5 hours. Caffeine, sugary drinks, big meals, and electronics before bed keep kids awake late, so doctors say try and avoid those things.
When was the last time you had 13 hours sleep?
Over 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Weather-wise, we're looking for comfortable temperatures over the weekend. Low 80s. There is a slight chance of showers, maybe Sunday morning.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for spending time with us.
Good night.